Happy New Year. Here's what the pond looks like in the winter, although it's a snowless winter right now. I'm going to get a little closer. It's almost noon, still long shadows, sun's pretty low in the sky. The upper filter falls is now shut off. I'll give you a quick overview. Down here, not too far from Sasha, is where the filter falls is, and right about here, near the electrical connection, is a valve, and it controls the line going up to the falls. We've shut that off and drained it. There's another valve that directs water into the pond, and it just filters the water from the skimmer to the pond. So we have two jets of water that are keeping the ice off the pond overall. It's now frozen up to the bridge and just beyond the bridge where there's still some water. It's solid ice right here, about 3 to 4 inches deep, and the ice here is around 2.5 inches to maybe 1/2 inch depending on where you're standing, though I wouldn't stand on it. Going back to the filter falls here, you'll see the stream is dry. I've taken the filters out and I've put a cap on the 2-inch inlet there so that water doesn't drain back into the filter line. And you'll see the moss is still there. Hopefully it'll survive the cold winter. Imagine this covered with snow. Here's the stream area that is now just dry gravel and rock, and some driftwood here and there. Going down to where the deeper water would normally start, and the fish generally swim up here from the deep water under the bridge into this area, now frozen. And you'll see the fish underneath the ice there. They're all relatively motionless. You might see them move a little bit, but they just kind of like that area there for its warmth and depth. It's about 2.5 feet deep right there. Moving over, you can see through the ice, and there's one of the jets directing water into the pond, and that's Piper barking, and that's Sasha barking. The other jet is over near the mouth of the skimmer to keep that open so water can still go into the pump area. And I'm going to step down here onto the rock right here and move along the edge of the pond. And it's actually a little frozen right there. I wouldn't want the depth to get too deep, otherwise no water will get into the skimmer and the pump will dry up and burn out. So I have to watch that. I thought I had enough water directed there that it would move and stay unfrozen, but I have to be careful. It's 20 degrees and it looks like that's needing a little bit of a correction. Anyway, imagine it's covered with snow. Here's the rest of the yard. Lights on the trees. This is our Vanderwolf pine decorated for Christmas, and there's our northern hemlock also decorated for Christmas. Here's another view of the pond from the far edge of it, the deep edge, looking back toward the falls. And there's Sasha. Says, "This tree smells funny." So there's a quick overview of what the pond looks like in the cold of winter. We expect a couple of open areas to keep the oxygen flowing into the water from the movement of the water alone, plus allowing any gases that develop from decaying material to vent so the water doesn't get toxic and get septic. That would kill the fish. And so far the dogs have been staying off the ice Sasha was getting on it early on in November, but I think she's learned that that's not a good idea. And that's what's happening in this pond now. Happy New Year.